Thank God that I never had to pop a pill to have pop a pill. That's just not the real. I do me all. Ty got big in Madrid like Real. Now they scream rust like I played for the Seahawks. I eat off my own plate, big dough. The dough didn't open, so I went in through the window. 6 more months, that's like 6 more ends. I'm a ball forever while y'all disco ends. Circle so small, I can't fit more friends. And I see your bigger picture, but the pic's low res. The truth is at my command since I leveled up. Rule with an iron hand inside a velvet glove. Jealous love from the onlookers. Rappers reporting back to the pimps, you what we call hookers. Hand the bread over, the plan is get older. Drowning in money, so all the women swam over. Landowner, I be draped in silk and diamonds. Thwart the danger, glory or gain, I will survive this fucked up game that be playing with my psyche. Women trying to fuck me, rappers trying to fight me. Hope my girl loves me, shit, I hope she just likes me. Betting on myself, I'm all in Phil Ivy. Faith will guide me. On the bad days, it carries me. And on the good days, it's beside me. High key the best out, y'all gotta respect the name. Not surprised you all sound the same, cause y'all dress the same. Like LMA, I'm in the ghost, so now I'm booed up. Stars in the roof, and my wrist got a moonstruck. I'm too up, afraid that I'ma lose touch. That's why I'm with the people that were there before I blew up. Before the world knew us, before they seen the movement. Fucking with a chick that lived right off of Beaver Ruin. Smoking in garages, stacking shoe boxes. Now I got whores giving 4-hand massages. Deep pockets, deposits. Wrote a self-help book, I'm on my Deepak shit. Get out of your own way, trust me bro, that's so vital. They said that I look like Jesus, so I wrote my own Bible. I don't wanna date you if your nudes wouldn't go viral. Yeah, I got rings, but I play like I got no title. No entitlement allowed around me. Respect the boundary, they should crown me. I'm the best out of Fulton County. Joke's on you for anyone who tried to clown me. I changed the game, it wouldn't be the same without me. So I'ma follow me, I don't trust what y'all say. And I'd rather walk alone than walk with y'all and go the wrong way. I'm always put my faith in me. Yeah. I'm always put my faith in me.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. It is Friday again, another week in the books and another Dynasty Q&A here for you guys tonight. Look, as we do every single Friday, we're going to go for about an hour from 7 to 8 Central. That's going to be the plan here tonight. Now, I did ask you guys, there is a poll in the chat. If you guys want to do an underdog, we can do a private draft tonight. If you don't, if you just want to chill and just talk some fantasy tonight, there's no issues with that too. Just something I was going to do. If y'all don't want to scratch the itch with me, I'm going to go scratch it by myself. Pause that. That feels a little awkward. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing, man. So it does seem like for the most part, early indications seem that we're just going to be chilling. Appreciate everybody who's in the chat here early. Alex, Insidious, Tommy, Kevin, Brandon, everybody. Brandon, what are we doing, man? Says stop rejecting my offers, and then he keeps sending me stuff that don't make sense for me. What are we talking about, man? But appreciate you guys for being here early. Look, man, Kevin, I appreciate that, dude. We are gonna be talking here tonight. It does look like it's I don't know, it seems like the poll's kind of flipping back and forth, so we'll give it some time. Shout out from Brazil. But other than that, man, let's really not waste too much time. Look, if you guys got Dynasty questions, throw them in the chat. I will see how this poll is doing in about 5 to 10 minutes, and if it is looking like we are really leaning towards drafting, I'll start getting that set up at that point in time. If not, we'll just keep rolling. But if you got questions, throw them for me in the chat. I'll get to answering them, and we can go from there. But yeah, let's just hop right into it, man. First question that we got here is from Tommy that says, need to know CD plus Henry, C-Mac plus Rome. 10 team, and I'm a strong contender behind a juggernaut, but number 2 in value. Tommy, I don't want to spoil. I think you're in the trade show tomorrow. I'm pretty sure you're in the trade show. And if I'm not mistaken, you might be the thumbnail of the trade show. 1 second, let's just see. Excuse me, I just ate my dinner, so, you know, it is what it is. But let me see, Tommy. I'm pretty sure this is the thumbnail. If I can get this pulled up. I mean, I mean, what are we talking about here? Oh my God, you can't even see it. Hold on. I think this is in the trade show, so I didn't want to spoil it, but you are in the trade show, and I'm going to lean the lamp side there. So I'll get into more detail about that on the trade show tomorrow, but yeah, I think you are the thumbnail trade of the trade show. I recognize that when you came in with it, so there you go. He says, let's wait. So, all right. Bruce City Bob says, brother, I got some good trades to share here if you were taking them in. Yeah, throw them in, man. We're talking anything, so throw them in the chat. Kevin says, thoughts on Brooks? Are we in or out? Depends on the price tag. I'm okay re-rolling him for any 27-second. Honestly, at this point in time, like, I'm not a huge Brooks believer, but I do think he's going to be involved in one way, shape, or form this year. I think Chuba's still going to be involved this year. And other than that, like, I think a 27-second, hit the re-roll. I have no issues with it. That's probably where I'm at with him. If I can get it, I'm going to trade him. Let me close all this stuff up because it does look like that poll, for the most part, is leaning towards just chilling and talking tonight. So let's see. Brandon says, would you move Garrett Wilson? And if so, who would you target? Yeah, I would move Garrett Wilson. If I was to try and trade him, I mean, if I'm trying to trade him cross positionally, it's probably easier. If I'm trying to move him, for the same position, I'm trying to tier Garrett Wilson up into probably a George Pickens. I'm trying to tier him. Well, it's probably not a tier up to go to George Pickens, but I'd probably try and tier him up to go to like a T-Mac or an Igbuka or a London. Those would be the guys that I'm trying to tier up to. If I can't, I'm okay exploring a cross positional or a lateral trade just straight across with Carnell Tate. Those would be some options that I would be looking at if I was trying to move Garrett Wilson at the wide receiver position. Now, if you're trying to move him for a running back, it's a little bit different for him. Probably going to put you in the Quinshon Judkins territory. Probably need to be a contender to do something like that. If I can get into the Amarion Hampton tier, I'll do it, but you have to put something on top of Garrett Wilson to do it. He's in a weird range where, like, there's not a lot in his tier that you would rather have over Garrett Wilson, but he's also a player that it feels like it's the ask that people want you to put on top of him to go up into the next tier feels too much. Let's see. What's up, Patty? Alex says, I have to know, I got offered Josh Allen and turned it down. Am I nuts? Caleb and Chase. I'm assuming this is Jamar Chase. For Allen and Rome, full PPR, I said no. If it's Jamar Chase, yeah, I'm probably not going to do that one. If it's Chase Brown, then yes, I'd rather have Allen and Rome. But I assume it's Jamar Chase. It wouldn't make sense with Chase Brown. Roro says, I've never done a best ball league before. This a free time killer, or are we paying? Nah, it costs money, but I think the one I was going to do with us tonight was going to be like $3 or $5 to enter. But I end up ripping a bunch of them every year. I probably spend more money than I should on these best balls. Well, let's be honest too. Some of it is a site credit because they are a sponsor of the show. But I spend more money than I should on some of these best ball stuff. Yacht says, Hurts for Danny Dimes and Mendoza. 10 team start 11, 2 quarterback. My other quarterbacks are May and Lawrence. I would rather have Hurts here pretty easily. What's up, AMJ? Almost messed up, bro. Tanking with 527 first. League mate sent me an offer sending 3 away for Puka. Cooler heads prevailed and declined. Yeah. I mean, if you were tanking and you're playing for the future, I mean, 3 first, 3 to 4 first, that feels like kind of what you need to give to go get Puka. In a rebuild, you can't give up all of your draft capital for one guy, especially if you don't have enough ammunition to fill out the whole roster. So I'm assuming that's kind of the case. I don't hate that for you. Were any of my trades on the show? One is Bijan and Love Swap, and the other one is Amon-Ra and Tet. I can't remember if those ones made it. I do know there's a trade in there that has... There might be a Bijan trade in there. I can't remember. I made those graphics this morning. I just remembered the one he said with all those assets. I remember that one. But I think there's a Bijan trade in this week's episode. I don't know if it's yours or not, Felix. I overpaid a bit, but I was wondering how bad it is. Heavy contender, received Gibbs plus Smitty, gave up 227 first, a mid to late 28 first, HN and Shaheed. Woo! Okay. I would say probably it's at least HN and 1 first to go to Gibbs. I'd say Smitty is at least worth one of the late 27 firsts. And maybe it's probably more a second. But I'd say you probably gave up one. Insidious, I don't actually feel too bad about this. Maybe a second in value is about how much you overpaid when it's all said and done, but I don't really have an issue with this. You got the 2 best players in the deal. Well, you got Gibbs. Achan's the second best player in the deal, but you got 2 of the better players in the deal. Josh Allen, Carson Beck, and Deshaun Watson, and a 27th third, or Jaden Daniels, Mendoza, and Marvin Harrison Jr. That is good value for Allen. Man, yeah, I think I'd take down Daniels, Mendoza, and Marvin Harrison Jr. I think that's the side of the deal that I would go. That's enough value for me to kind of move off of him. Thoughts on McBride? Is he a sell? I would say he is a hold. I don't really think we need to sell him more than anything. If you can down tier him to a Warren or a Loveland and get something substantial thrown in on top, I have no issue with that. If you can move him laterally for Brock Bowers, I would rather have Bowers over McBride, but I'm not like selling him just to sell him. I think he's going to be as high of a scoring asset as you can have in fantasy when it comes down to it. So I'm not as worried about him. I wanted to trade for Hall, but I don't know what to put together. I was thinking of maybe Addison and Michael Wilson for Hall. I have Pierce, Hall, ETN, Hunter, JSN, Kraft, McBride, Neighbors, no tight end premium. Yeah. I mean, that feels like light in the trade department to try and offer for Hall. I feel like if I got that Hall offer, I would just decline it pretty quickly. And so I think you're going to have to come with something a little bit different. The problem with your roster right here is it looks like McBride's going to be too expensive. Neighbors is too expensive. Kraft is maybe something I would try and throw over there. I know he's hyped. The market is hyped right now on him a little bit. So maybe you could throw Kraft. Since it's not a tight end premium, you don't need 2 tight ends. And so you could go Kraft and like Michael Wilson or Kraft and Addison instead. I think that gets you closer to Hall and then you feel better about it. I sold Puka today. Never thought I would, but it was Puka, Derrick Henry, and Daniel Jones for Herbert, JT, and T-Mac. I mean, Puka's the most valuable player in that deal, but Herbert's a substantial upgrade to Daniel Jones, and JT's a pretty significant upgrade to Derrick Henry. And you're down tiering to T-Mac. It's probably worth it. The value probably checks out there. I think you get a little bit more balanced across the 3 positions, even if you're down tiering Puka to T-Mac. Took over some orphans. I need to rebuild old backfields. I'm at least a year away from competing. Is the best time to trade Chuba, Swift, and Dowdle in season? Yep, it's going to be the best time in season as those guys start scoring points. And I would try and do it earlier rather than later in season because a couple of those guys, I could imagine those guys get more work earlier in the season. I mean, Chuba specifically, if Jonathan Brooks comes on a little bit more in the late parts of the year, you want to have made sure that you sold Chuba early. Swift, I could see him splitting with Kyle Monangai, but he's somebody that I do like his value right now, but he's definitely going to be valuable as he's scoring points, and same with Dowdle. So yeah, the best time is going to be in all of those or the in-season games. You're probably going to be wanting to trade most of those guys probably before like week 6, I would say, is like a good target date for you to try and look at, is like try and get them out before week 6. Thoughts on Jaden Higgins' breakout candidate? I could see it. I just don't love the quarterback play that they have there. I don't love the offense. I think their defense is going to be too good for them to be super fantasy football friendly. And it's going to be a team that's probably going to just run the football a lot if they're up because of the defense. So he can break out. He would not be my first choice. Hoping on Higgins too. Let me get rid of this cough drop. I have a cough drop in, and I feel like I'm like slurring my words with this thing. So hold on, give me a second. I try to get rid of that shit. Just chew that up real fast and get that out of there. Try not chew it in your ears. I know I got that first initial crunch in your ear. All right, traded away Laporta and Trey Harris for Igbuka. Early 28 second, worst team in the league, and Ayuk was a toss-in. Did I cook? Yeah, you cooked. I like it. 33 overall, and he had a bunch of touchdowns. What was that? Jaden Higgins? Yeah. Wait, maybe? I don't know. Maybe this is in regards. I mean, this is right after the Jaden Higgins question. So when are we getting a League FFB Community Dynasty League going? So that would be dope. I've thought about, and maybe, Logan, you can tell me if this is something you guys are interested in. I've thought about maybe doing a league where, you know, I can kind of set it up. Here's the problem, though, is like I don't want to have to be the commissioner of it. But like I was thinking of, my idea here was like, how can we do a startup league with you guys and members of the community, and then I can like stream the startup draft and commentate it as it's happening live. I wouldn't be participating in the draft, but it would be 12 members from the league. And maybe we do something like that. I don't know. I'm still kind of brainstorming the idea, but that's something I've thought about, is like mega live stream on like a Sunday or a Saturday or something and do like a 4-hour live stream where we just commentate a whole startup. What is the secret sauce to not firing trades off out of boredom or just itching for action? That's a good question. I think I don't know if there's a solution to it. I don't know if there's a solution. Just staying disciplined, recognizing when you're trading for need and when you're trading out of boredom. I guess the simple thing is like ask yourself before every trade, like, is this helping me fix something on my roster? Like, is this improving my roster? If it's not, maybe then it's out of boredom. But I fix a lot of my startup itches every summer by doing these best ball drafts. So that's like my little vice for trying to not get in a bunch of startups. What's up, dude? Appreciate you coming in here. If you guys haven't checked out some of Fantasy Football Garage's stuff, he does some best ball content as well. So I know you guys said, it's a lot of Dynasty stuff over here, but if you do play some best ball and you want some more content, he does some good best ball content. I was the one who reviewed your guys' NFC West predictions last year. You guys were sharp AF. I was worried I wouldn't find any bad takes. Well, I'm glad that we were good in one division because I would say, well, I mean, you did tell us the Matthew Stafford one that I said. That was a bad one. We won't spoil it, but there was a bad Matthew Stafford take, and my wife and I, we were laughing about that before bed the other night because I was like, well, that one didn't age very well, but I'm glad that, if we can shoot 80 to 90%, I'm happy with that percentage. I'm not mad about that. I have to cut 1 out of 3. Besh, Judy, Hawkinson, or do I cut 2 out of 3 to pick up Brian Robinson, Troy Franklin, Braylon Allen? I have Waddle and Brees. I would pick up Braylon Allen if I have Brees. I'm okay dropping Besh for that. And then I think I would rather drop Judy and pick up B-Rob. That's probably what I would do. So I would cut 2, keep Hawkinson, pick up B-Rob and Braylon. What would you trade Michael Wilson for? It's really hard with him right now because I feel like the market on him is all over the place. Some people think he's really good because of last season. Some people think he's a flash in the pan. I tend to fall somewhere in the middle. I mean, if you look at anywhere right now, he's probably ranked somewhere between wide receiver, I'd say like wide receiver 32 and probably wide receiver like 45. That's where he's going to fall for most people. In the range that he goes in, I would probably prefer him over a good chunk of them. I think some names that would probably be in the same range that I would prefer over him, and maybe these would be your trade candidates, is I'd rather have Parker Washington. I'd rather have Christian Watson. I'd probably rather have Omar Cooper. That's probably about it. I tend to like him a little bit more than most of the guys in his range. What's Javonte and Irving's value? 2 seconds, a late first. I'm looking to buy as a contender. I would say both of those players, you're in the right ballpark. If I can get for 2 seconds, that's a smash except for me, because I would love to have the production of those two players for the 2 seconds. If it cost me a late first, I'm not mad at it, but only one of them. Would you trade Love in a mid first to get Bijan and also have Burden and Rome all on the same team? I tried to upgrade to Wilson, but the guy wanted 27 first on top of Luther and Rome. Too much. Yeah, I wouldn't give the 27 first on top of Luther and Rome to go to Wilson. But would I give a mid first on top of Love to go to Bijan? I think it depends if I'm contending. If I'm a contending team and I want Bijan's production right now, I'm okay with it. But if I'm rebuilding, I might take Love in the mid 27 first and, you know, get 2 players. It's going to be hard for Love to equal Bijan Robinson, but even if he's somewhat in the ballpark, a rebuilder would benefit more from having the 2 players. Thoughts on my trade? JD5 and a 27 late second for Herbert, 27 mid and late first, and Travis Hunter. Yeah, it's probably a fair deal. I think you have to give something on top of Herbert to get to JD5. And it's crazy that we're kind of in the point now where Travis Hunter is kind of throwing in a lot of deals. So I have no issues with it. I think if I had to pick one of these sides, I might take Herbert in the first, but I think the value is pretty close. 28 mid first, 27 mid second for Jadarian Price, plus a 27 third. Which side do you prefer? Yeah, give me Price. I'll find out a way to get a first round pick later down the road, but I'd rather have Jadarian Price right now. And if it just cost me a mid 28 first, I'm all for it. In or out on BTJ? I am in on BTJ at cost. Just looking at KTC right now, he's like the wide receiver 26 in their website, which is like by Jalen Waddle and Rashee Rice and J-Mo. Casey Concepcion's there, not too far down. T. Higgins is in his range. Yeah, I'd probably just rather have BTJ at 23 years old over a lot of those options. We are interested. You guys are interested? Okay, maybe we will. And Alex says he'll commish, so that would be, maybe that's something we'll get set up. Jordan Mason or a 27 third round pick? I'd rather just have Jordan Mason than the third round pick if I'm contending, for sure. I would do it if you're the commish. Fair. I've never gotten into best ball, but I had a buddy win like $35K year after last on them, so maybe I should. Dude, I've seen some people win some crazy money on them. I've never won like crazy money on them. I would say like the most I've ever won at a period of time is like a couple $100, but not like 40, 50, 60,000 like some of these people have won before. But who knows? Maybe this year. It only takes one lottery ticket, man. It's one lottery ticket, and that's what we're doing with those best ball drafts, right? Is you're playing the fantasy football lottery. But it takes one lottery ticket to get you a shitload of cash. What's good, KC? Says, happy Friday, my guy. London and Rice or Chase. 1 quarterback, 10 team, start 8. Man, I love London, but in a 1 QB, 10 team, start 8, the superstars are going to matter a lot. And so I would probably just go with Jamar Chase here. What's up, Tunchi? Felix says, what would you try to trade Jordan Addison for, or do you think he's a hold? I want to trade him because I think he's boom or bust. He is a little bit boom bust. His value's depreciated right now. For some reason, he is not getting the bump that Justin Jefferson got for Kyler Murray coming to town. It feels like everybody's kind of just throwing Jordan Addison away. So for me, I would be holding him, but because he's boom bust, which I do agree with, he's a player that you could probably have a big game happen, and then in season you take advantage of the big game and try and sell him. So I wouldn't trade him for anything he's going for right now in the market. He's a hold until he kind of gets a little bit more hype. But if I can turn him into, if you can turn him into a Waddle, a JMO, even like a BTJ, a Marvin somehow, say like BTJ starts off the year with like 3 bad weeks in a row. I know people would get really nervous about that, but if I could turn Addison into BTJ after like 2 or 3 bad weeks to start the year, I would do it. And I think people would tilt like that. We got a super chat, so I want to make sure that we get to that one. So that is how you're going to skip the line. They said give C-Rod, Kalen Black, and a 27 third for Jalen Coker and a 27 second. Your running backs are Barkley, Achane, Jacobs, Gainwell. Wide receivers are Jettas, London, Watson, Tyson, Pickens, and Igbuka. So first and foremost, just want to say I appreciate you for the super chat. It means a lot. But when it comes down to a trade like this, I don't really have an issue with it. However, your wide receivers are really strong with Jettas, London, Watson, Tyson, Pickens, Igbuka. So for me, I probably would rather have C-Rod and Kalen Black in the third. It feels like a pretty small deal. But I have to think that C-Rod has a better chance at hitting your lineup than Jalen Coker does. And I know you're getting the 27 second, but it's really just a move up 1 round because you're giving up a 27 third. So yeah, I think for me, I'm going to go with the C-Rod, the Kalen Black, and the 27 third side here. Logan says, I commissioned 2 other leagues, but I'm not a seasoned vet by any means, but I would sign up for a new league right now if a spot was open. Yeah, like I said, man, I've toyed with the idea. Maybe it's something we can do. Just got offered Burden for Kraft and a 27 fourth. I'm receiving Burden. Yeah, I mean, if it's not a tight end premium, I will take Burden. If it is tight end premium, I guess it depends on the premium. But yeah, I probably want Burden here. What would you try to trade Burden and Rome for, and who would you rather trade away? Man, that is the question of the offseason, honestly, is the Bears wide receiver room. But if you had to ask me today, this is going to sound like such a cop-out, Felix, but this is really what I would do. I think it's a good chance for either guy to end up the number 1. If I had to, you put something in my head and you say you have to go make a choice today, it's going to be Rome Odunze would be the guy that I would say is the number 1. So he would be the guy that I lean as like the 1A, and Burden would be the 1B. When it comes to trading, I would probably be trading the guy who my league values the most, or whichever of the 2 I can get the most for. And I would assume that based off of the offseason hype, that's going to be Luther Burden. Now, if I can trade Luther Burden and get a Olave or a Ladd or a Nico or a Garrett Wilson or a Carnell Tate, something like that, I'm not opposed to trying to go that route just to diversify those 2 assets and not have both Bears. In a league of mine, actually with another content creator in this space, I traded Luther Burden to him and I got Garrett Wilson. This is about a month ago, and I felt pretty good about that because while Burden is pretty hyped, I feel like Garrett Wilson's floor is pretty safe. And yeah, so if that's something you can do, I would diversify that way if you can. 12-team full PPR, half tight end premium, super flex. I got Goff, Shuck, Hampton, Scattaboo, Jamar, Tate, Pitts, all my picks still. What should I do? Hampton, Scattaboo, Jamar, Tate. I mean, the team's pretty well rounded. If I had to, I'm assuming you didn't list the whole thing, but I think the weakest of the positions is probably the RB2 with Scattaboo. I like him, but I think he's fragile as a long-term dynasty asset. So maybe try and go get the RB2 fixed a little bit, or at least get some depth behind Scadaboo, and then figure out your QB spot behind Shuck, because he feels like a little bit of a gamble right now as your QB2. I feel more comfortable with Shuck if he can be my QB3 on my roster. Yeah, dude, I think it would be fun. That's what I'm saying, is like, I think it would just be fun to like kind of have the draft at one time. It's all people from our community, and I get to just commentate on the draft while it's live and happening, but there's no like fantasy implications for me, because my one thing is like, if we were to do a community live or a community startup with me drafting in it, I would be like queuing guys up live on stream. I'd probably have to put like a pretty nasty delay on it, because I wouldn't want you motherfuckers to snipe me, because I know you would. But me commentating, I would love that. For it's like instant reactions to your guys' picks. I think it would just be fun. It'd be good content. JSN or Flowers, a mid 27 first, a late 27 first. It's a lot for JSN, but he's elite and not available often, you know? Yeah, I kind of lean JSN here if I'm contending. If you're rebuilding, I can understand diversifying the assets a little bit, but he's one of those players that I feel like you have to overpay for. And when you overpay for him, you still feel like it wasn't enough. So I agree with you in the aspect of like elite player, not usually available. I kind of lean him there. A-Rod says, so confused when you went live. It's like on a Thursday, blew my mind. Yeah, dude. I feel like this week went by fast for me as well. I can't even tell you. I feel like this whole week's been a blur. Tate has really moved up in value since the draft. I have him in a rebuild. Should I try to trade him for Marvin Harrison in a second and take advantage of market trends and add draft capital? See, I'm not opposed to this. This is something that I definitely think rebuilding teams should be doing more often. You know, he's a player that we ended up getting 102, 103 in most drafts, and you can now flip him for, it almost feels like the asking price for Tate is like almost 2 future firsts now. If they're not guaranteed to be early. So he's a player who's definitely went up in value. If you're trying to diversify, like, I think the better play, and maybe not, I think Marvin Harrison is right in that range, but if you want to try and go down to Jordan Tyson, or you want to try and go down to, I mean, all those names, Marvin, BTJ, Mackay, Jordan Tyson, Zay Flowers, all of those guys in that range, it feels like you can go down to those players that are still young assets and get something thrown in on top. The problem is with all of those assets, for the most part, I don't think that there is clear of a pathway to guaranteed target volume like Carnell Tate does, and that is why the price is going up with Carnell Tate right now. It's really hard to look at Carnell Tate and say he's not going to get 100, and it's hard to say he won't be guaranteed at least 110 plus targets as a rookie. Start the draft this Sunday. That would be too short a notice for me to get a live stream and everything set up and going. But we could do this shortly. Next week, maybe. If we really do have enough people. If that's seriously something you guys are interested in, like, I'm being dead serious, folks. If this is something you guys really want to do and set up, ping me in the Discord. And if we get enough people that are like, yeah, I'd be down for that, then let's do it. 12-team Superflex, Tyson or Scadaboo. This is an easy Tyson for me. Dynasty League FFB, let's do it. That would be dope. I'm a contender. How do you feel about buying Cook? Is a late first enough to get it done? I think it's going to be more than that, but if you can get it for a late first, I'm all for it. Buying Cook as a contender is definitely one of the top things you could probably do right now, because I think he's a top 5 running back this year. Hot take. Team Rome, as part of the Bears situation here, and Alex, we've been on Team Rome the whole time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, it's like a startup version of Red Zone, maybe. One of my leagues I'm a heavy contender in, I didn't want to play the maybe they break out game, so I moved Marvin Burden for Amon-Ra. Well, I would always suggest doing the maybe they break out game and turning them into real elite guys. That's give me the Amon-Ra side all day long. 12-team Superflex PPR, no tight end premium, and I have Hurts, Mahomes, Bijan, Genty, Puka, Pickens, Terry, Kyron, Pitts as my starting lineup. I have league mates early to mid 27 first and 327 seconds. Who should I pair a pick with to upgrade? I also have Burden and Hunter on the bench. Okay. I mean, you don't need a running back upgrade. You have Bijan and Genty. Puka, Pickens, Terry. I mean, maybe you can throw a pick on top of Terry and go get yourself another elite wide receiver. Like if you gave up that early to mid 27 first and Terry, could that get you into could an early to mid 27 first get you into the conversation for T-Mac or London, especially when you throw Terry in there? Like, could it get you in for like a cornerstone wide receiver to where you're going to have Puka, T-Mac, or London and Pickens? I think that's probably the upgrade route for you. If not, I don't know if I'm forcing an upgrade right now. I might wait till in season. That's insane. Insane. Dedication too. You need league mates like that. I don't know what to do with Olave. I feel like he's currently at his peak value. I'm in the middle of the pack in my league as a playoff team. Olave is not a guy that I'm like nervous about at this point in time. And actually, I would argue that his value has gone down since the end of the season because of the Jordan Tyson addition. And I think he's in a pocket right now, value-wise, where I prefer him actually over some of the other options. Like, if you had to tell me today, I'm in a startup draft and I'm picking between Ladd McConkey, Devonta Smith, Chris Olave, and Luther Burden, I think Chris Olave is probably going to be my pick out of those four guys. So I'd probably be keeping Olave at his current price. I think it's not as high as we think it is. I already have Tyson. I like him more than Tate. I liked Tyson's tape more than Carnell Tate's as well. I flipped them. I had them really close, though. It wasn't like a super clear, like Jordan Tyson is bona fide, night and day, different tier of his own. But I had him as like, he was my wide receiver one on tape going into the NFL draft. But the landing spot and draft capital where he got and the volume that I would project him to get, I do have him slightly edging ahead of Jordan Tyson right now in my rankings, but they're very close. I have them in the same tier. So if there's a gap, I do think you should move down and then, try and get him. I know you said you already have Tyson, but yeah, I mean, that's, if anybody can take Tate and turn him into Tyson plus, I would never be opposed to that. One of my leagues, we're going from 12 to 10 people. So doing a supplement, that's interesting. You usually see teams or leagues trying to go up. You guys are booting 2 people out and just going down to 10. Doing a supplemental draft tonight. I'm sitting at 108, assuming my 27 first isn't available. Who do you like between Mike Evans, Jacobs, Ricky, Cam Ward? It's a 1 quarterback league, or Tootin. I think I would rank them probably Jacobs, Tootin, Ward, Ricky, and Evans last. That's probably the way that I would rank them for myself. Yeah, I mean, we'd have to figure all of that stuff out. And that's another thing, like, the reason why I didn't want to is because, like, just trying to think through the logistics of it, like, because I wouldn't be affiliated with the league, but it would be affiliated with the brand. Like, I don't know. There's just some logistics to it that I needed to figure out and brainstorm a little bit more to try and figure things out. You always want to be safe, and I always want to make sure that you guys are comfortable and safe, and I'm not, ever doing anything that people see as slimy. Like, just because I wouldn't be in the league, I wouldn't want people to think it's slimy or something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to make sure that you guys are protected and myself is protected as well by doing something like that. I know it's just fantasy football. It may not be that serious, but I always want to make sure I'm cautious. Not a big Discord guy. Am I missing out on a lot? It's up to you, man. I mean, there's a community in there that's like 800 people now. People submit their Dynasty trades. The trades get reviewed on the trade show every week. So if that's something that you're interested in, that's definitely something that you want to be in the Discord for. Sometimes we post mock drafts in there. If we are going to be doing a startup mock, or if we're going to be doing something like that, a rookie mock in rookie season, I do post that link in the Discord first. So those people get, advantages to try and draft with me on stream sometimes. I'm in there answering questions every once in a while, not as much as I'd like to, but there's so many people in there that you can just bounce off ideas with people. And it's a good place to be. It's a good place to hang out. And I would say beneficial to be a part of if you are interested in stuff like that. I think Olave can still grow in value. Saints passing volume is so nuts with Kellen Moore. Shuck can support 2 high volume wide receivers. Yeah, exactly. And I just don't really see a situation. I know a lot of people are like, well, Olave's value came last year on the target volume. I don't know how much of it's going to get taken away. I think if you start taking targets away in this offense, you're taking them from like Juwan Johnson. You're taking them from, these other guys that are there, and you're consolidating this offense down to, we want to run the ball with Travis Etienne, and we want to pass the ball to Olave and Jordan Tyson, our first round wide receiver, and that's how we want this whole thing to go. Like, I think that's really how you start consolidating it down to. So I'm not super nervous about Olave. Olave's a player that I felt fairly comfortable with him. I only have him on one of my rosters. I play in 4 leagues, but I only have him on one of my teams, and I felt very comfortable with him pretty much most of the year, most of this offseason. I've watched the Dynasty Trade Show dang near every weekend for the last 6 months. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you. I'm glad people enjoy it, man. It's something that I just enjoyed. I love talking Dynasty trades, and I'm glad the trade show has just become such a staple to the channel and the brand, and I'm glad you guys like it, and I think it's gotten better over time too. MFGDs has gotten more comfortable on camera, and he's getting better at content creation and things like that too. So it's we've grown with that Dynasty Trade Show a little bit. Some of the early episodes maybe not as good as the other ones, but it's it's probably my favorite piece of content that we put out every single week. So I love it, and I'm glad you guys like it as well. It means a lot. Christian Watson or Odunze? This one's an easy Odunze for me. There you go, Alex. Glad I'm not the only one who thinks Odunze is wide receiver 1 in Chicago. Yeah, man. I mean, I think he's the most talented wide receiver. Not taking anything away from Luther Burden. I think he's very talented as well. But when it comes down to it, like if you had to tell me which wide receivers the better wide receiver, I would probably just lean with Rome Odunze. And I was looking at some projections for this season not too long ago. And keep in mind, projections can always just be whatever, anybody thinks. But when I'm looking at the Chicago Bears specifically, right now, the projected offense is supposed to have a split kind of where it's almost 50-50 between the two. They're projecting 120 targets to Rome, 113 to Luther, 1,000 yards for Rome, 930 for Luther, 8 touchdowns for Rome, 5 touchdowns for Luther. So, both of these guys can be valuable. But I think when it comes down to it, you look at Rome and you say he's the big play guy who can stretch the field, and he's the red zone target. So I think when it's all said and done, he's the guy that I'd probably rather have. Really, the big winner and the clear winner here for me is Caleb Williams. I mean, it's a guy who's probably going to pass for 4,000 yards. He's probably going to have somewhere between 25 and 30 touchdowns this year. I mean, he's the one who can't lose. Phelan Loveland as the top target. They have him projected 118 targets. So he's tied as the number 1 target with Rome. And he's 900 yards, so he's matching Burden, but he has more touchdowns than Burden. Dynasty Trade Show is actually the first content piece I ever caught you on, and then been locked in since. There you go. I'm glad. Like I said, I'm glad that people like the trade show. It's a good consistent staple. And I'm glad that it gets people like to come to the channel and see some of the other stuff, because I think we got a lot of good stuff on the channel for people to see. Tommy, okay, he says, how big does the channel need to get for a guest trade show appearance? You mean like have another creator come on and do the trade show with me? Or just like have a fan come on and do the trade show? because we could talk about that for either one. We'd want to maybe we do a guest trade show. Maybe we do a guest trade show at 10K. Maybe that's something we do. But yeah, I mean, the goal right now is to just get to 10K. 10K subs is where I want to be at. I wanted to be there like yesterday, but you know, sometimes it's a process. Got to trust the process, and it's a slow grind. And sometimes the slow grinds are better when it's all said and done. They're more rewarding. But yeah, I would say 10K is the next goal. So maybe that's something we do. Have you watched Steve Smith's Dynasty rankings? Yeah, I watched his Dynasty rankings, and my Steve Smith, great NFL wide receiver. Don't want to take anything away from him. When it comes to understanding the wide receiver position, probably understands it better than most people. I don't know if he's played the game of Dynasty fantasy football ever in his life. That was my takeaway. I don't think he's played Dynasty fantasy football. I think he was just throwing wide receiver rankings out there and then calling them Dynasty because he's under the underdog umbrella. Zaire, Devonta Smith, they're very close. I think I would lean Devontae. You know, it's funny that you just said Caleb Williams is the clear winner, because I've been thinking about my next content piece, and I was thinking how everyone's talking BTJ, Washington, etc. And my take is going to be Bump trying to buy Trevor, who's going to be the guy giving all his opportunity out, and then take the same for Caleb, except Caleb's a lot more expensive, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like when we're like, all these guys have receiving options, like it's who's it going to be? I think the answer is like, you just want the quarterback who's going to throw it, and then you don't have to pick the wide receiver, right? I'm picking the quarterback, so whoever he throws it to, it doesn't matter to me. He's getting all those points. Let's see. Good advice. Just traded Garrett Wilson and a third for Pickens. Not bad. I think it's equal age range, a player who's in a better offense with Pickens. So, you know, I think there's still ceiling for him. Devin says, thanks for the advice, bro. Love the channel and the trade shows. How do you navigate leagues where trades are scarce and trade offers from other league mates are ridiculous? You got to beat them to the punch, man. Honestly, in leagues where, like, if people are sending you egregious trades, you got to beat them by sending more trades yourself. If you're sending out the offers, they're more likely to accept something. If they have to come up with something, they'll skew it in whatever way, shape, or form their brain is going to tell them that they're winning. So if you just start sending out offers, more than likely you'll find some more middle ground. So I would say for you, like, if you're trying to get a deal done, you be the guy who sends out the offer. You be the guy who does the research. You go send out some volume offers and be open to, you know, figuring out what works for them. Sometimes that's 90% of the battle in the trade market, is like, who do you like? What works for you? What do you like about your team? What do you dislike? Where do you need to improve it? Figuring those questions out for them, or just talking with them to figure that out, and then give them the solution to the problems that they have. Trading to help them to also help you. Alex, I know, dude. I feel like we've been talking about it. We should be growing more than 10K, but we're not at 10K yet. So spread the word. Get us out there. Send us to your league. Well, maybe if you don't want to send us to your league mates, send us to your homies. Send us to whatever. Let us get to that 10K, man. Help us get out there. That's for everybody. Do you think the Vikings re-sign Addison, or do you think he walks somewhere else after his 5th year? If so, do you think the right situation he could be a high wide receiver too? I do think the Vikings probably try and make it work with him. I think the bigger question for them is going to be, one, how does Kyler Murray play this year? If Kyler Murray plays well, what kind of contract is he going to want to come back to Minnesota the following year? Because if he's good, I don't think they make the Darnold mistake and let him out the door as a free agent. So, you know, what is that contract going to look like? If not, that means JJ McCarthy probably played, and what does he look like? Is he going to go forward on his rookie contract? Or are you re-rolling the dice on a rookie QB in the 2027 draft class? Like, those are the question marks, I think, for Minnesota. So, I think right now early indications are probably that Addison sticks around, but it's a matter of how much he sticks around for. Are there any other places he could go be the wide receiver 2 and be a high-end wide receiver 2? It's going to come down to volume more than anything. But I don't know if there's many other situations better than Minnesota for him at this point in time. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe to go be the long-term number 2 opposite Puka. Like if Adams retires, like maybe it's Puka and Addison, or Adams and Addison. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Is Caleb too rich for the 110 and a 14-man superflex? No, I think that's fine. I'm more than fine with that. Even wide receiver rankings, having Dotson at like 23 is egregious. I think he was drunk. I mean, he might have been, but the rankings were egregious in general, just all around. All right, A-Rod, appreciate you, man. Good luck in the supplemental. Any worries about Jettas with the quarterback situation? Still a top wide receiver for fantasy? Yeah, I still think he's a top wide receiver for fantasy. It's the reality is like we can punish him and push him down the board, but how far? I mean, if you want to argue and say I'm going to take Lamb over Jefferson, I won't argue with you too much. If you say you want Neighbors over Jefferson because of the age, sure. I'll hear you on an argument for like London if you really want to stretch it that far, but like, are we taking Pickens and Carnell Tate and Garrett Wilson, those guys over Jefferson ever? Probably not. So like, I think, am I worried about Jefferson? No, I'm not worried about Jefferson. I think he's a player who's going to have a pretty damn good year this year for the most part. I think they bounce back. I'd have him more as like, probably like a 1,300, 1,400 yard receiver this year, and he should be fine with that. No problem, man. JD5, 27 second, and HN. Yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate you submitting. I've shared your stuff in my leagues and gotten into league from a Discord, so we all know already. Fair enough, fair enough. Burden or Hall, depends on roster construction and your team in general. They're probably in the same range. I'd lean Burden here just because I think Burden can probably get you more than Breece Hall in the trade room. But maybe that's me being too galaxy brained into where the market is on Burden. I just know that the hype train for Burden's so crazy that it's tough to really pinpoint where his market is. I have a feeling that Burden's perceived market is higher than his actual market. But all right, folks, we are all the way caught up on all of your guys' questions. So if you guys are watching and you haven't done so already, do me the favor, go down and hit that like button. It's the best free way you guys can show this channel some support. If we answered a question for you guys tonight, you've just been hanging out, enjoying the conversation, enjoying, the topics, whatever we've been talking about, do me the favor, hit that like button. Doesn't do anything, it doesn't cost anything, and it truly does help the channel a lot. So whether, we think it means a lot, YouTube puts a lot of weight in likes, comments, and subscriptions. So those are the ways that you guys can really help the channel. So if you haven't done those things for me, go ahead and do that for me. I'd appreciate it. Other than that, throw in some more questions here. We're pretty close to the hour mark, so if we don't have really any more questions, I'm not opposed to wrapping this up just a couple minutes early. But if you guys still do have questions, throw them in the chat for me. I'm going to call last call here, and we'll try and get those answered before we hit that hour mark. And also, one thing too, I'll tell you guys, because I got a notification for it. You guys might not know. YouTube is trying out these new little, you can see it on your phone. There's, I'm sorry, I'm plugging something. You'll see something here that says like, you have jewels to redeem. YouTube's giving people jewels. It's a way to like support creators. It's like a gift in the live chat. Everybody's getting like 1,000 of them. I think most people have gotten like 1,000 jewels. So if you guys want to send your 1,000 jewels, you can. I just did it in the chat just to send that. You guys can do that. It does help the channel, and if YouTube's giving them out for free, might as well support a creator. Doesn't even have to be me. Go support your favorite creator. If it's not me, it's no issues. But you have those, and they all expire in like a week. So try them out. Try them out if you want to. Figured I'd bring it to your attention. Lamar, JSN for Drake May, CMC, and AJ Brown. I want to say this is on the trade show tomorrow too, but I go with Lamar and JSN here. That's the side of the deal that I want to go. But I think this is on the trade show. Sidious says stay hydrated. Oh, that might be the little chat gift, maybe. Yeah, it is. I parked the bus. That's what I did. I parked a bus. Trade away JMO and a 4th for Zay Flowers. A fair trade. I would rather have Zay. I mean, if you can trade JMO and a 4th for Zay, I'd rather have Zay there. Hurting at the running back spot. Only Derrick Henry, ETN, Gainwell. My wide receivers are JJ, Tate, Tyson, Rome, Neighbors, Godwin. Quarterbacks are Pat, Purdy, Lamar. So, I mean, really what I would try and do here, I'm assuming you're just asking how we can fix that running back position. What I would try and do here is I like JJ, I like Tate, Tyson, Rome, and Neighbors. I think your top 3 are going to be JJ, Tate, and Neighbors right now. So I would try and take Romo Dunze. I would probably rather just keep rolling the dice with Tyson, or if you want to sell Tyson, it's one of those two, Tyson or Rome, and I would try and move one of those guys for a running back. Now, if you can move one of those guys for a running back, it's probably going to be a guy in the range of like Brees, Chase Brown, maybe a Kenneth Walker, a Travion Henderson. Like that's probably the range that you're looking like for running back. So I'd just try and take either Tyson or Rome and move it for one of those guys. Okay, my bad. So there you go. No, it's all good. It's all good. We got it now. Love your channel, Andrew. I just traded away Puka for CD and Saquon. Won the league last year. Looking to go back-to-back and already have a stacked wide receiver room with Lamb, Nico, London, Olave. Appreciate the support. Trading away Puka for CD and Saquon, it's a little bit risky because Saquon is a little bit older, but if you won the league, you're trying to go back-to-back and you need some running back help, I can understand just going down a tier to CD, going down a tier to CD Lamb and then getting that running back production. So I don't mind that at all. I think that's a good one. But all right, it does look like we are, oh, there's one more. It was hiding down there. Montgomery or DeAndre Swift? I would rather have DeAndre Swift in Dynasty. I think Swift probably outproduces or at least produces similarly to Monty this year, and then you get at least an opportunity at a longer shelf life with Swift. We'll see what happens with his contract, but at least a little bit of a chance at a longer shelf life. So that is it, folks. I see we are all caught up again, so I appreciate you guys for coming and hanging out. We are at about the hour mark. So again, I'm just going to remind you guys, if you guys want to support the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, go join the free Discord, do all that good stuff. If you have those free jewels that YouTube is giving you in the live chat and you want to shout them out or throw them on the screen for the creators, then go ahead and do that if you want to. You don't have to. Go use it on your own favorite creator if you have one. But other than that, I have nothing else for you guys today. So I will see you guys on the next one. Appreciate you as well, Chef. We will see you guys next week, but we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Dynasty Trade Show. So until then, peace out.